Do you want to see an entire panel on CNN collectively, without saying these actual words, communicate the message of shut your mouth, Scott Jennings? That's what I have for you here, which is, of course, yesterday was 4 years after January 6, 2021, and the day that Trump's election was certified yesterday. And it was peaceful, and Democrats respected our democracy, unlike how MAGA treated the last time. Scott Jennings, who you might remember right after January 6, 2021, had very strong feelings about Donald Trump and felt that he had disqualified himself as president and had done something terrible. And now he's apologizing. Now he's saying ridiculous things like you're going to see here, because this is what gets you MAGA notoriety and attention now. And the Republican Party's MAGA, thus the way he stays relevant in the GOP, is being this. And it's really sad stuff. While you watch, please do click the subscribe button. If you're not familiar, Scott Jennings is just a sort of CNN correspondent. He worked in the Bush administration and now is like I said, a contributor.
One other issue, I want to actually congratulate the Democrats today. This is the first election since 1980.
He's doing this again.
This is the first election since 1988
Scott,
that a Republican won, and Democrats did not try to overturn the results on the floor of the Congress. So congratulations, Democrats.
I'm only interrupting you because we've heard this before.
We've played this. Well, you've heard the truth before, but I thought it was worth repeating.
Here's the thing. Parliamentary disputes.
There were not parliamentary disputes.
Mr. Speaker, a point of order.
No, that's not what happened. They tried to stop the counting of the votes.
Taking flagpoles and taking weapons and bursting into the Capitol to try to stop or delay or obstruct the certification of election. That has never happened before.
They have tried to stop the Electoral College.
I heard you doing this earlier today, and I thought by tonight maybe you'd sort of give this one up. I get what you're trying to do here, and it's a hard job you have. But there is no comparison. There is no comparison. And as Adam says, history will remember this correctly for several reasons. There are thousands of videos of what happened on that day. There are videos that the insurrectionists themselves took. There are CC videos. There are reporter videos, news cameras, videos inside the Capitol, outside the Capitol. We know exactly what happened. So to the Mike Collinses of the world, all I would say is, do you want to be on the right side of this in the history books, or do you want to be the villain in this story? Because in 100 years, your great-great-grandkids are going to know you as the wrong side of this issue, not the right side. And how is that going to feel? Because you can whitewash it as much as you want in the moment. There is no confusion. None as to what happened. And it is not the same as someone on the House floor raising their hand and saying, I have a question about this vote.
That's not what happened on the House floor. They tried to stop the counting of the electoral votes in every election.
Wait, wait, Scott.
Yeah.
I was there, man. So
when Al Gore certified the election, he did not even allow them to make the point of order. It was out of order.
How many weeks did he hold up the counting of the votes?
This is why.
You didn't hold up.
We probably won't be able to move on from January 6th. You're my friend, but I know you're smarter than that. I know that you're smarter than comparing what happened.
The country has already moved on.
No.
It's everybody today that's having a meltdown that hasn't moved on.
Trump keeps bringing it up. We're not having a meltdown. We watched the vice president do her job, just as we had to wait 14 hours, but nonetheless watch Mike Pence do his job. And just as we commended Mike Pence for having the courage to stand up to Donald Trump, it takes when people lose, whether you're a child or an adult, it's hard to lose. That's why you don't want to be a loser. And
that's why Donald Trump couldn't
do it. That's why we actually are here, is because he couldn't be an adult. He couldn't stand up and say, you know what? The country is bigger than me. The voters decided 4 years ago. And today he still hasn't done it. Now, you can try and compare 2000 and 2004 and 2000. But that's not the same. And I know deep down inside that you also know that what happened on January 6th, we have never seen anything like that in our lifetime. And God hopes we never do. And that was not what.
Yeah, it looks like that's where the clip ends. But it looks like Scott is sort of like, oh, okay. As a whole panel had to dogpile his absurdity. Oh, it's so upsetting. We'll have to edit this in after Jaden, but let's go ahead here and plug in a clip of me trying to explain the distinction, because I've done it so many times before. Just watch me, past me doing this. I don't need to do it again here. To a few Trump supporters during a Tim Pool appearance. And I desperately tried to get through their confusion. And whether it be someone on that show or Scott Jennings on CNN, seems people willingly choose ignorance. Here it is.
Hillary Clinton did say that the election was stolen. She always says
Russia collusion, Russia.
Illegitimate, right? And then we had actual members of Congress.
Just, do you want to explain it, or can I just explain to you now why that's not at all?
Why is it not the same?
I'm not bringing up, even though I think it was vile because they were doing it because of lies, I'm not bringing up the fact that senators objected or Congress people objected to the results. That actually is a power they have in Congress. I'm talking about fraudulent electors. The fact that that distinction is not one that y'all understand.
So semantics. Semantics.
What?
So
No,
you're
no, no,
saying
no.
that you're saying it's okay for Democrats to object to election results.
First, let me explain the Electoral College to you. So you're talking about the certification of the electoral count.
Correct.
We got here because of political violence, not because of procedural stuff.
That's not what you're talking about. Which one would you like me to address?
We got here because of political violence, and you moved it to procedure.
Because you multiple times have taken shots about my fixation with January 6th, which I'm fixated, so that's why I want to talk about it. And to your point, you're talking about whenever members of Congress, which is a part of their constitutional authority, it's bad to wield that authority when you don't have a basis to, but they do have the ability to object to the electoral count.
Their constituents on January 6th were asking their representatives to do that. That's what that was.
Okay, and I haven't brought up once members of Congress objecting.
No, but why do you think the people were there?
So
the people were wanting their elected members to do that. They're asking them. That's why they're protesting.
So you're completely mixing up two completely different things altogether. That is the electoral count being certified. I'm talking about a president getting people to assert themselves as the electors, the actual electors. Not let's dispute the certification of the election, but let's get illegal electors counted as the Electoral College. Please tell me that separation makes sense in your brain.
That makes sense, but
okay, that's what Trump tried to do.
That's not what he tried to do.
It is so overwhelmingly that he doesn't even deny it.
He's asking people. He said this was a fraudulent election, and
stop bringing up Congress. I'm
not saying that.
Individuals who've been prosecuted in certain states for being fraudulent electors. They literally signed forms saying, "I am the dutifully elected elector from the state of Wisconsin."
And he asked people to do that. That's what you're saying.
He got them.
Where's the evidence?
And then what do you think he wanted Mike Pence to do? What do you think he wanted Mike Pence to do?
He wanted Mike Pence
to
do
two indictments. That's where the evidence is.
He wants him to assert his power like Congress and not certify the election.
He wanted Mike Pence
has the ability to
say
do that.
He was counting the non-electors that weren't lawfully sent by the states.
Let me say,
random people.
Do you know how many?
It's crazy. Y'all are okay with that. Imagine that's what Biden started doing.
Wait a minute. Were you okay?
Understand?
Wait a minute.
Is that crazy?
I'm fast.
And remember, too, in those cases, it was individual people, like a House member would stand up and say, "Oh, which they have the ability to do. They do. That's why people do it." And you can be doing it for bad reasons, but you do have the ability to. But then you have to get like a co-sponsor to support it in the other chamber in the Senate, and they couldn't even get that done, showing how few members, and it wasn't something unconstitutional. Y'all get it. I sometimes feel so stunned that people go, "Wait, but electors, you brought up electors, they did the elector thing." No, it's like, it's so different. It's disturbing you can't get that. It's disturbing. You are disturbing me for misunderstanding what we're talking about. Two completely different things. Completely. Not to mention the riot. There I was just talking about the fraudulent slate of electors, but the riot as well added on top of it. There's bringing it up proves either you don't understand the law or you're lying. Also on the same panel, Scott Jennings said this.
Says what he means, what he's really going to do. I mean, even the fact that Don Jr. is going to Greenland.
I want to talk about Greenland, though.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody would like to buy Greenland, but are we going to take it by force?
I don't know. We could. There's not that many people there. But I don't think we should have to. And here's why we should want it. They got rare earth minerals. We already have some kind of a space base there. And it would fortify us against the Russians.
The question is, what is the how?
I mean, Trump's a wheeler dealer. Make an offer to Denmark and see what they have to say.
How much are we willing to pay?
I don't know. How much could it possibly? People poo-pooed buying Alaska, and it turned out fine.
Look,
they called it Seward's folly. They were mad about it then, and look what it's great. We got all the.
So now we're gonna just hand over a big old check.
Yeah, that'll help with our debt and deficit problems. And also, Trump said he's not ruling out using the military. But then, if you're a conservative commentator, unless you're principled, which there are principled ones, but you'll just go, I don't know, sure, yeah, that sounds fun. Yay! So easy. We joke around here a lot about how easy it seems to be some of these commentators, with how much I stress about coming to all of you with the proper, well-informed take and not just trying to parrot talking points and then admitting when I'm wrong. That stress is just gone for people who don't have the conscience such that they need to actually hold themselves to a standard. So they just sort of, it's so easy. You just say whatever the MAGA line is. Yep, that's cool. Ugh, exhausting. Tell me your thoughts in the comments.